Hello, everybody. So welcome to this webinar about our ProSoft Connect solution. I will let my colleague Pierre Pagliari talk, but I would just wanted to introduce myself. So my name is Marino Bagna, and I will be the host for this webinar. So I am working for ProSoft for 3 years now and in the marketing service. Thank you.
Thank you, Marine. Hello, everybody. I'm Pierre Pagliari. I'm the regional sales manager for France, Benelux, and North Africa, working for ProSoft Technology. I would like to thank you, everybody, for joining this webinar. Today, we have a topic, which is ProSoft Connect. I guess most of you have heard about the solution, or at least have heard about IoT. Quickly, the agenda of today, an introduction. I guess if you are connected to this webinar, most of you have heard about ProSoft Technology. So what are we doing? What is IoT? How you can leverage IoT in the second period. In the second time of the webinar, we'll see our value proposition regarding IoT and how your company can leverage this IoT. I will also proceed to a live demo, and then I will introduce you some other use cases during the presentation. So quickly, ProSoft Technology, we are on industrial automation market since 30 years. We are really focusing on industry and on communication. We have 3 main dedicated solutions we're offering to our customers, which are plug-in solutions for our partners, such as Schneider Electric or Rockwell Automation. The main solution we are providing here is to go from protocol A to protocol B, which is non-native for the partner. So Ethernet IP, Profinet, Profibus, Modbus TCP IP. We are trying to link all this protocol together on the field. We have the same kind of solution with gateways, and we are offering also wireless solutions since more than 15 years. So wireless solution could be Wi-Fi, frequency hopping solution, and also remote access solution, which is the topic of the day. Our customers are mainly customers that you know, I guess, Rockwell, Schneider Electric, Emerson, Schlumberger, Oil and Gas. It's really industrial customer. So let's start with IoT. You probably heard about it. You know, during the time we had 3 main industrial revolutions. The first revolution, which was led by water and steam power, and which changed the face of the world, especially which was born in UK. The second industrial revolution with the arrival of electricity. The third one with IT and electronics. And now we are entering the 4th one, which is mainly linked to industrial Internet of Things. So Internet of Things, which will make all Internet objects connected and using some concepts like big data, AI, that you probably heard about. This industrial Internet of Things is a global trend, and it has different names in every country. So you probably heard some of these names in your country. So we have people from Italy here during this webinar, so it's called Piano Industria. We have people from France, so Industrie du Futur is the name in France, or Smart Industry in Sweden. So all this Industry 4.0 or 4.0 for Germany. So all these names are linked to the same concepts of IoT. And as ProSoft Technology, we wanted to also help you to enable this IoT in your plan. So how we will do this? Now it's time to introduce you our solution regarding remote access. So we identified a few years ago a need, customer point of view, which is to access the industrial automation from everywhere in the world, and also to do it on a secure way. So if you are a system integrator, you have few needs regarding commissioning. As system integrator, you are doing most of the time, or all the time, the commissioning of your machine, of your automation equipment. And to do so, you will need to go on site. And the solution we will introduce you today is targeting this kind of application to take benefit of IoT to leverage new economy savings. So to avoid you this travel expense, sorry. You have also technical support. So once your application has been installed on the customer side, you are most of the time providing tech support. You can also provide some maintenance contracts to the customer. And the SI we are working with today using our solution also mainly for this technical support. So to do this technical support remotely and to save a new time cost. It is also our module are also used as a rescue box. The solution we are providing enables system integrator to keep some module, remote access module, and then to use it if needed if there is an issue on site, because you will see the flexibility we are offering enable the system integrator to send our module to any architecture, depending on the IP address, the networks, anything. For the OEM also, so for the OEM, which are the original equipment manufacturer or panel builder also, the solution we are providing enable them to ease the integration of the machine. I will introduce you why later. And also same need on the SI to do remote maintenance of the equipment they are sending globally, because the OEM by default they are selling their machine globally. So we developed a solution called ProSoft Connect on 5 milestones. This solution is developed to be highly reliable, to enable you to have access from anywhere on the globe to your remote equipment. This solution is extremely easy to use, and I will demonstrate it with a live demo later on. Highly secure, you will see why, and does not require any PLC software. So when we develop the ProSoft Connect solution, we work with IT from different companies in order to make sure the solution will be accepted, because we know that IT most of the time wants or are working with OT to make sure there's not any issues, security issues on site. And one of the main requests from IT was to not have any software to install. And you will see why later on. So what kind of solution are we providing? We are providing 2 solutions, 2 hardware, 2 different hardwares. First hardware is a cellular solution using 4G coverage, data coverage. And the need is exactly what I described before. So you will have the opportunity to connect to your equipment, whatever the position, the location they are on the globe, directly through our 4G solution. So how does it work? You have here a cloud solution. I will introduce it later. It's called ProSoft Connect. And you will put this gateway on the switch locally. And thanks to this gateway, you will have access remotely to all the equipment on the switch, whatever the equipment we are talking about. So it has just to be on Ethernet, whatever the protocol, could be Ethernet IP, Modbus TCP IP, Profinet. It just has to be on Ethernet, and then you will have the possibility to connect directly, remotely to the plant and to do modification to the PLC, to the HMI, to whatever. So in this case, it's through 4G, so cellular network. We have also a new solution since 2 weeks doing the same, but with wire. So it's more or less the same solution, but this time you will have directly Ethernet on site, and you can use a wired gateway. So let's go a bit further on the explanation of these two hardware, and then we see the solution. But just spend a few minutes on the hardware. So the cellular, let's start with the cellular remote access module. So the cellular remote access solution we're providing is working this way. So you have an account which is created on ProSoft Connect, ProSoft.io. I will show you later. And this account will be linked physically to your gateway. So this hardware that you can see on the screen here is connected to one subnet. So for instance, here it's 192.168.0 something. And you will have, thanks to this gateway, you will have directly remote access to all this equipment from your computer, wherever you are. So you can imagine how powerful is this tool. Our data are hosted here on ProSoft Connect server, which you can reach on prosoft.io. We'll go later together on this. So the hardware is really simple. You have one serial port, which will allow you to connect serial equipment directly. Mainly, in 95% of the case, you will use the Ethernet port on a local switch, and you have the possibility to have access directly to all your equipment. A power supply, which is 10 to 24 VDC, and 2 antenna ports. Why 2 antenna ports? Just to be able to have the data from everywhere, from anywhere. So if you have we have an application in tunnel, we are working a lot in tunnel application or in mining, and we decide to put 2 antenna ports, MIMO, just to be able to have 4G or 3G everywhere. So even in tough environment. What are the pros and the cons of this kind of remote access solution? First, thanks to this cellular module, we will have access to remote location even when you don't have internet or network connectivity. So for instance, in water segments, it's really used because you never have on a tank, you will never have direct internet access. So using GSM is a really good way to enable the connectivity everywhere. Then you have also directly the cybersecurity issue, which is vanishing because you just have access to this gateway through GSM and you are not mixing the network. So the cons that we are meeting, for this solution, you will need a data plan. So it means you just need a classic SIM card, a data SIM card. You don't need to have a fixed IP address, just a classic SIM card, but you will need a cellular data plan. So it means you will pay each month €5, €10, depending on the data plan you will need, but you will have to have a monthly subscription. And also a con that we are listening is that the data rate isn't as high as a wired connection, which is true, because it's the same for you when you're at home. When you are connected with your PC directly on Ethernet on your box, you will have a better data rate than if you are connected wirelessly. It's true, but let's see how we can answer to this. With our second hardware, the wired remote access solution. So this PLX32 NB2 is also providing the same kind of solution. So the goal is still the same. The goal is to have access to your network directly from remote and through your computer. So the data are exchanged from your computer to the cloud and then to the cloud to the gateway. And the gateway is initiating the communication to the cloud. So it's an up communication, which is directly sent from the gateway, which is also for cybersecurity very important because you are not initiating communication directly. It's the gateway which is initiating the communication. So this gateway is also the alternative one has a LAN port and a WAN port, here 10 to 24 VDC power supply, and also offers you NAT communication. I will explain it and detail it later. So this NAT feature is implemented in the gateway, but will be only available in the first quarter of 2018. So today, you don't have access to this functionality. However, we can give you better access to this. So if needed, just come back to me and we'll be able to give you better access to these NAT features. So how does it work, these NAT features? You will be able to map directly your communication with non-compliant networks. So the idea is to be able to do this NAT communication on different subnetworks. Quickly, the pros and cons of this kind of communication. The pros is that you can use directly a network communication when you have internet access. So it means for IT, it's always a good way to protect from attack. If I don't want to give internet to the gateway, you will just directly don't have access to the site locally. So it's seen by IT as a security asset. The communication is most of the time more reliable, and the data rate is also more reliable than the cellular solution, and it doesn't require a data plan. So it allows you to do savings at this level. The cons: most industrial networks don't have direct access to internet. It is less and less true nowadays. However, this is still the case in heavy industries mainly. And then the second con is that you have also remote locations where network is absolutely not available, which is the case especially on water business. So this solution is coming with a full ecosystem. So it's a turnkey solution on ProSoft.io. So I will do in a few minutes a demo on ProSoft.io just to show you how it's working. Let's talk quickly about the benefits of our solution on the market, and then we'll go together on ProSoft.io. So the first main asset we have is this Easy Bridge communication. So we have Easy Bridge communication is the name of the VPN access we are providing, which is extremely easy to set up. I will show you later, but you don't need to be a specialist in automation or in IT, which is more or less most of the time the issue, because you have specialists in IT, specialists in OT, so automation. And when you are specialist in OT, you're not specialist in IT. So to set up a VPN is quite complicated for automation people like I am. So how are we proceeding? You will see that you don't need to be an IT expert to do this communication. You don't need any software, any PC software to install or maintain your architecture. So in terms of security, it's a huge asset, and I will show you later why. And this cloud native solution is using the latest technology for security and reliability. I will give you some also insight later. So our solution enables you to do direct plug and route. So we can use multiple PLC vendors software. So like Rockwell Automation, Schneider Electric, Siemens, Omron, Mitsubishi, and others, without any issue. It's transparent for our solution. The fact that we are on the layer 2, so we are using a layer 2 VPN, despite on the market today all the vendors are using a layer 3. The asset we have using a layer 2 VPN that you will have the possibility to directly scan all the equipment on the networks without needing to memorize all the IP address of the system. So how does it work? Here on my computer, I can have all the software linked to these companies. So I can have Aeroslings, I can have Unity Pro, I can have Step 7, whatever. And thanks to this software, I will have access directly to the automation on site and to the PLC programming. So I have an account on my computer. I connect directly through internet to ProSoft.io, and then I will have the access to my gateway. And when I will have the access to my gateway, I will have access to all the equipment on the site, the remote site. And it will provide me the full access to the automation on site, whatever it's in the HMI, the PLC, the drive. And also I will have directly access to all the equipment. So for a system integrator, it's very interesting because I don't need to have, or for on an OEM, it's the same problematic. I don't need to have in mind all the IP address of my networks. I just need to run this connect, and I will directly scan all the equipment on the network transparently. And I don't need any firewall modification to set up this VPN because it's a layer 2 and not a layer 3. Main big asset also regarding TeamViewer or other solutions, which are PC-based. First is about cybersecurity, because if you are using a TeamViewer or licensed software solution on site, it means you are bringing a PC on site. So it means you are opening a cybersecurity breach on site. And it's also, in the end, it's costing less because you need to always, each year you need to renew your license, which is expensive. So our solution is more cost effective. One slide about cybersecurity, because today it's a big thing. Cybersecurity, you will probably hear more and more about cybersecurity requirements everywhere. So few cybersecurity securities that we have on our embedded in our solution. So first, we developed the ProSoft.io website with a microservices and container technology. So these technologies are reducing the chance of a cascading vulnerability when you have an attack on site. So how does it work? You have the containers who are providing each services in autonomous cases, I would say. So it means all the functionalities of our website are working autonomously. So even if someone is able to cyber attack the website, he will only attack one microservices, and he will have only the possibility to freeze one function of the website, but not all the functions. So it's a new concept we have been brought by developers few years ago that we are using, and it's really the best technologies you can find for our website. And today you are probably the only one on the market with this kind of technology embedded on the website directly. Then we have also a cloud-based services, which is the top you can do today, which is the Amazon Web Services, which are the servers in the end, which are hosting our data. Because as you can understand, the cloud, which is on ProSoft.io, is hosting by Amazon Web Services. And we are also launching now redundancy solution with Microsoft Azure servers, just to make sure we will provide you disponibility, so availability for your data. We have also two-factor authentication process for the authentication. I will detail this later in the presentation, but you have an account on ProSoft.io, and you have also an account linked to each gateway. So you have a two-factor authentication process to initiate the communication with the gateway. The layer 2 VPN doesn't support routing, so it's also a main asset. Just ask this to IT guys, and they will clearly tell you it's a main asset because you are really keeping IT and OT segmented with this. And then the last point, which is not the least, we don't have any software to install for our solution. So what's the main asset with this is that you don't have any cybersecurity risk. So you have a very famous attack which has been done a few years ago by hackers called Dragonfly. And this Dragonfly attack was just as simple as this. The software you are installing on your computer to put in place the VPN between the gateway and the servers, the gateway and the gateway and the cloud. This software has been modified by hackers, and all the data were sent to third-party hackers. So in our case, the fact that we are eliminating the software is key and allows you to have a safer solution, what is today existing on the market. So let's do this live demo together now. So I will share my screen. Okay, I guess you see me now. You see my screen. So I will connect on ProSoft.io. So here I'm already registered, but if you are not registered, you just have a standard page where you just put your email address and password, or you create a new password with the email address you have. So it's really easy. So here I directly access to all my gateways wherever they are globally. So how does it work? I have a map of the world, and I see by region. So I have 3 gateways working in EMEA, one in Toulouse, where we are here now with Marine during this webinar. one in Italy and one in Czech Republic. So it's only my account. So it's just demo we put a bit everywhere in Europe. So these data are pulled manually. We don't have any GPS module in our solution. So I have here, if I want here directly, I can directly initiate the communication with the gateway, and I have access to all the equipment linked to this gateway, linked to the switch where the gateway is connected. From the table tab, I have just a sum up of all the gateway names, the LAN IP address, the WAN IP address, if it's cellular version, and then the model, if it's cellular or wired, so wired or cellular gateway. For those which are offline, it's just because the power supply is off. When the power supply is on, you always have this connect tab, and you can directly initiate communication. So from here, I have directly access to all my gateway, which is interesting because for you, it's by project. I mean, here you can see in team tab, it's all the people who have access to these gateways. So it's interesting because you can manage, for instance, you can directly manage your teams. So if you are SI or OEM, we have team with different responsibilities, whatever, if it's the geographical area, or it could be just by project. So here you can really manage all the rights of your team as you want. So you have 3 different level rights. So let's see the different role: administrator, and then you have user. If you are administrator, you have all access. If you are user, you can have only connect access or config and connect. So it's reading or writing. If you have only connect access, you just have the possibility to connect to the equipment. You not have the possibility to modify the PLC programming. If you have, on the other hand, if you have the possibility to do config and connect, you have both options, reading and writing. And here you just have a quick overview of the last connection by people. And if I want, I can also remove some rights. So I can, for instance, fire someone from my team. You can imagine I will not do this here because I think they will not be happy if I just remove that right. Okay, let's go to the activity tab. So the activity tab is really interesting also for this team management because I have a direct access to a historization of all the operation led on my gateway, so on my project. And each time I'm communicating, so you can see I did a communication 40 minutes ago. So what did I do? I was just testing the timer before this demo. So I did a pre-demo before this webinar to make sure it will work. So hopefully it will work. And then if I want, I can just add a comment. So it was just a demo of our webinar. Testing before our webinar. And all the people who are sharing the rights will have a comment explaining why I opened the communication and what did I do. In the alert tab, you will have directly all the alerts. So it's mainly communication loss. So if you lost the communication and it was not planned, so it's unprompted loss of communication, then all the alarms are directly managed in the PLC. So it means today we have, sorry, I have a question from Leslie. So the question from Leslie is how to connect when there is a need to connect to one line with multiple VLAN, multiple devices, or remotely routing inside the line. So Leslie, what we will do, I will answer to your question probably later. Sorry, I think it was during the NAT demo, but we will answer to your question later. I keep it in mind. Okay, so here I have directly all the alerts. The alarm are managed directly in the PLC. So we have for Rockwell and Schneider PLCs, we have directly. So for Rockwell, it's add-on profile and instruction on the other Ethernet IP, and for Schneider Electric also we have this on other Modbus TCP IP, which are directly helping you to do this. We have also a support tab. which is a great tool in my mind. So we have equipped all our tech support globally of a new interface. When you have a quick question regarding Connect, when you want to connect to your remote equipment, you can just ask a quick question here, and you will have an answer from our tech support globally. So if you put a question in English, you will have an answer potentially from everywhere globally. If you put it in French or in other language, local language, you will have a question and answer with the local language. So it's a very powerful tool, and I will just show you right now by asking a question to the tech support. So I didn't cheat, I didn't warn them I was doing the webinar, to be honest. So let's write a question. And you'll see we'll have an answer quite soon. So it's really, the idea is to enable the user experience. So how does it work? Let's do it now. Let's connect to a gateway. So here we have a gateway, which is based in Toulouse, on the technical support, which is on different network than mine, for sure. So I just connect. So here I have a unique password, which is generated, that I can copy directly to my clipboard, and that I will copy paste to my VPN. So we have VPN servers everywhere in the world. So in Europe, in Asia, in South America, and North America. And you can see here I have a dedicated VPN in Frankfurt just to enable more speed data rate, so more speed. So here I will just paste my unique code, then I will have the possibility to access directly. So here I'm connected. So what I can show you to prove that I'm connected, two options. So in Toulouse, we have two PLCs. So we have a Schneider PLCs, which is connected. It's M540. And we have also a compact logic from Allen Bradley, so local automation. So if I have the software of these two brands on my computer, which is the case, I can directly communicate and connect. So let's start with Allen Bradley. So if I launch RSLinks, I hope you will see my screen. I will check this. Okay. So here I have, do you see my screen with RSLinks? Okay. So here I can directly scan on the Ethernet IP side, and I will detect directly the equipment. So here I'm connected remotely, and I see directly my backplane with all my cards. So I can see I have a compact logic processor and all the equipment. So we don't have too many on the demo, and I can directly connect and change all the tags of my program remotely. So here you can see directly without any configuration. I just declare as an Ethernet drive. So we have a question from Leonid. It was said before that there is no VPN client required, but we just seen that connection was done using ProSoft VPN client. So it was not said that there was not VPN client required. We don't need any software, which is the main difference, and I will explain it now. Because the VPN we are setting up is directly setting up with Microsoft features. So it means the VPN I'm setting up in the past. So clearly on my computer I've set up a ProSoft Connect VPN. I can do it directly from ProSoft.io. So let's disconnect. So okay, we need to first leave RSLinks. So it was the demo for RSLinks. So I disconnect now the tunnel. And just to come back on Leonid, don't know what happened. Okay. So just to come back to Leonid's request, yeah, the VPN, we need a VPN client, but the VPN client is directly on our computer because it's just using Windows native function. So it's completely different for the other solutions which are existing on the market. So now we have closed the tunnel. Okay, So let's put, for instance, the IP address of Schneider Electric, of the Schneider Electric PLC. Sorry. So I helped my colleagues put the demo on the Schneider Electric. Sorry for the bad internet communication. It's my network, which is not good. Okay, so we'll do it probably later. I don't know, maybe they didn't power in the module. It was powered since this morning. Okay, anyway, it's working with any PLC vendor for any brand. Okay, just that's it for the main interface. What is also very nice is that you can directly just for setting up the VPN, sorry, I will show you how we can set it, because on my computer it was already set up. But if it's not setting up, you can directly have a script, download a script regarding your Windows you are running, and this script will pre-configure the VPN for you directly in few steps. So it's a very good, very secure way to put the VPN, because it's not a software and the script cannot be infected. Okay. And the last point is that you can directly update the firmware of all your fleet remotely. So if I'm going in advanced parameter, I can see in my window is too small. So I can change the firmware directly here. You can see, and I can directly change the firmware of all my fleets at one click, which is very convenient. So that's the main demonstration I wanted to realize for the interface. Don't hesitate to ask me questions if needed, like Leonid just did. Okay, let's come back to the presentation. Okay, I just had, I just received an email from my tech support. So you can see I have a lot of exchange with them. Okay, so you can see I received an email directly from Romain. Okay, so he's at 20 meters from me. So demonstration is accurate. You can imagine that. No, it was not planned. I didn't warn Romain about the demo, but anyway, you will see. Just try by yourself, and you will see you will have a very fast answer. Okay, so just come back to the presentation now, because time is running out. Okay, so I will just share my screen again here. I guess you come back on the demo. Just, I would like also to show you some different use cases, because here we just talk about the use cases with our Connect solution. But you can also use our hardware without ProSoft Connect. So you can use also our hardware independently. So let's see some example of application we realized already, and some use cases we realized globally. So for instance, what we've done already is to use our remote access solution to do asset status, whatever asset, the kind of asset status it is. So here the example is truck monitoring. So CNG truck monitoring, which are transporting gas. So on this truck, you have a small PLC. You have also a GPS module, which are all linked to our modem, ProSoft Connect. So here it was the i6 certified version, so the cellular version. And thanks to this, our customer had a live access to all the trucks wherever they were on the globe. And thanks to this, the customer was sure about the good behavior of all the trucks, and was able to monitor also all these gas. So here you have gauge for the pressure of the gas, etc. And customer was also using our alarming module depending on the level of the gauge. So if you have an alarm directly, this alarm was sent by SMS to our customer directly. So it's here it's an example for truck, but we have the same example in energy, power generators on an airport. We have a couple of other examples. So it's one use case. One use case also realized, so it's linked to OEM, but here it's very specific. So this OEM is producing locomotive for train. And Among the different services of this OEM, we use our solution for different needs. So for the maintenance service, we use our ProSoft Connect solution to be able to track all the defaults remotely. So how does it work? So this OEM is repairing all the locomotives and revamping these locomotives one by one. So each time if you have some issues on the locomotive, this locomotive is back to the customer site, and then the customer is doing a full revamping of the automation. So it's each 10, 15 years per locomotive. The customer is doing this full revamping with newer PLCs, newer IOs, whatever. And each time this customer is using this revamping, he will put one of our gateway to make sure that if one day there is an issue on the gateway, on the automation, he will have the possibility to directly connect remotely. So it's a great way for them to do savings in terms of business trip, in terms of expenses. Because this OEM is selling locomotives in Africa and Europe globally. So imagine that for each loco, it's avoiding them to do this flight trip. And I have a nice anecdote with this customer. They were using also our tech support, and we configure the box of this customer, the internet box of this customer, home internet box, just to enable the life of the maintenance manager to have access directly from home to all the equipment. So it was also a nice story, and I wanted to tell it to you. So more widely, we are using today all OEMs. So all OEM which are producing their maintenance, their machine, and sending their machine globally, we're using our Connect solution. So it could be to do this maintenance, but it's also possible to do live communication. So this OEM are also using our solution in two ways. Or they're using the Connect, I just demonstrate you, or they're using their own servers, or they're also using their own servers to do the communication. So when they're using their own server, they can use fixed IP address, OpenVPN, IPsec, whatever. But it enables them to have the full security directly on site of the customer. So we are offering the two possibilities to the customer. We are offering you the possibility to do a turnkey solution with our ProSoft Connect ecosystem, but we are also offering you the possibility to use our hardware, but to use your own server. So you will need to have some IT knowledge, but we have some use case later of customer doing this. And here also, we have OEM doing this, having in the OEM office here, directly their own servers, which were running all the communication with all the equipment globally. Just to come back to John's question, for sure, we will have the possibility to send you the presentation after this meeting. So all the people who registered will have the presentation. So we can do also SMS reporting. So I discussed it quickly before, but we can, so our ProSoft Connect, our hardware are compatible with SMS. So whatever you're using today, it's compatible mainly with Schneider Electric and Rockwell PLCs. So if you're using one of these two PLC, you would be able to directly manage this SMS feature in the PLC directly. But we are offering pre-prepared code for this. So your work will be really reduced. You will have almost nothing to do. It's very convenient for mobile worker, for instance, on site. Receiving an SMS if the level of a tank is too high, whatever the alarm, but you have a direct alarm messaging through SMS or email. So it's used, okay. We discussed this. If you have a non-prompt event or prompt events which occur, we'll have directly a PLC SMS. So some other use case. So here it was the full smart lighting solution. So it's a famous city. We equipped we used our solution without ProSoft Connect, so without the cloud I just introduced to you. but to do the full supervision of the city base station. So it's an example also of alarming and remote control and status monitoring of the full street light control. So you can imagine all the lights of the street were managed through were linked to our wireless cellular gateway, and then you had a big control room where you had a full monitoring of all the lights and having all the defaults in real time just to make sure the city lighting on the proper way. So another kind of application. So we did few examples of solar plants. So solar power monitoring. So here it's really an energy, and we did both with ProSoft Connect or with both. So with ProSoft Connect, we are enabling. Okay, I have a question. So we have a question from Carlos, which is asking, who is asking, how many ProSoft devices can we monitor at the same time? So it depends. It depends if you are speaking by team or by account. So by team, you don't have any. By user, you can use only one-to-one communication because your user is linked to the gateway. But if you have a team of 20 users, they can connect to 20 different gateways at the same time. So I hope I'm answering your question, Carlos. It's not just, okay, perfect. Okay, so for solar power monitoring, we are also, okay, so this kind of customer, here it was the application, one application was one solar panel customer was producing energy, was selling this energy to a distributor company. And for sure, we need to track the amount of energy, of electricity, which is transferred between both companies. So we did this with a full architecture with PLC drives, remote I/O, or over Ethernet, and also with our 4G cellular solution, which was embedded in which was enabling a control room to have live access to the data. So they were using ProSoft Connect for maintenance, but they were also using their own servers running out on our devices to have a live data acquisition. So to make sure there are not any issue with the energy transfer. So it's an effective application which is running since several months on energy market. Okay, so it's the architecture. We don't need to spend too much time because we are running out of time on it. So another example of application, it's in oil and gas. So it's more or less the same need. So the customer, here our customer is using pipeline and flow computer to transfer oil. So it's from an oil producer to an oil distributor. It's more or less the same application but with oil. It's also, so we have two applications here, this application, and also for only one customer with extracting oil, they are using flow computer directly to measure the oil which is transferred, and they wanted to make sure there is not any production stop, because you can imagine the cost of a 10-minute production stop when you're extracting a high number of barrels per minute. So here it's really crucial to have a real-time monitoring solution, and we are offering this real-time monitoring solution with our hardware linked to a software. So as I explained, it's not using ProSoft Connect yet. It's using an embedded server on site where you will need some IT or some development, but we have a lot of customers that have already done there everywhere in the world. And we can clearly support you in this kind of project. So that was the main point for ProSoft Connect. I hope it answers to your question. So now we have a dedicated session for questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. If you are raising the hand, I will give you the token to speak with your mic. Or you can also use the chat directly, and I will answer your question to the chat. So we had one question already from Leslie. I think I didn't answer to your question, which was how to connect when there is there's a need to connect one line with multiple VLANs, multiple devices are remotely routing inside the line. So it's using the NAT feature, I guess. So let's come back on the slide of the NAT. Okay, I will try to remove this mode. So today, I guess the answer is here. So today we can use directly the NAT feature, but it's not today, it's the first quarter of 2018. But using the NAT feature, you have the possibility to connect on a different subnet. So it's an IT, I have a message, I guess it's Leslie. Okay, so sorry, I have a question at the same time. I'm not used to this exercise in the short time. So you have the possibility to connect different subnets directly, but it will be managed, I would say, by IT. They will open the networks they want. So I think it's answering to your question, Leslie, because you have the possibility to communicate to multiple VLAN or to get access to multiple VLAN, but it will be depending on IT also. So it will be using the NAT features. So if you want to connect to multiple VLAN, it will be possible only with the wired remote access solution. So just one question regarding, okay, so I have few more questions. So ProSoft Connect, is there any fees for ProSoft Connect? And it's a big differentiator, but we don't have any fees. So this tool is included, this ProSoft Connect turnkey solution is included. So you have direct access to all the power of ProSoft Connect for free. So we are offering this service. We think it's key to offer this kind of service to our customer. And we are also differentiating by giving it, including this in the hardware. So today you will have the possibility to use 1 gig of data per module per month for free on the cloud. But you will have also the possibility to use more. But after 1 gig, you will have the speed which will be lower. Why are we doing this? We are doing this because we will never stop the communication. We are in industrial environment. We don't want to stop the communication. It's key. It could be key for maintenance. So we know this. So we will never stop the communication, even if you exceed the 1 gig limit. So it's the first question. And second question, how many users? So it's a question from Carlos. How many users can connect to the same ProSoft device at the same time? So it's a very good question. Today, we have only one user who can connect to the same device at the same time. So it means it's a one-to-one communication. But it will evolve. We are already developing this feature, and it's already implemented. For instance, for me, we have the possibility to connect at several on the same time. So it's a feature which is already implemented, not available for the moment, but will be available in really few months because it's already implemented on the tool. And I tried this feature already, Carlos. So if you need, we can do it for you for beta or whatever. We can provide you this feature. Okay, any other questions? So regarding Connect, I would like to show you a last thing, which is interesting, I think. So let's open again the VPN. Do you see my screen? I hope yes. So what is interesting is that here I can give you also this unique code, and you have access to the module. So it's for cybersecurity, it's good because you will not need, I don't need to share my credentials with you. So let's connect. Okay, on the VPN. Okay, I will share my screen, sorry. Okay. So I just initiate a new communication with the support team here. Up. So what I can see directly is the real-time. Sorry, my internet connection is not really good. You will see here. So let's answer some questions during the loading of the page. Okay, so some more questions which are coming during the same time. So sorry, I don't, okay, I lost internet. I think here. Hope you're still hearing me. So I will just answer the last question because I just lost the communication. So Carlos, can we make a web high PN the device? Web HMI. So can we make web HMI with the device? I'm not sure I understand your question. Could you just be more specific or try to rephrase? What is clearly possible, you can clearly access to any HMI interface with the device. So I guess it's your question. So you want to create your own HMI, right? With the tool, with the gateway itself. With Connect, it's not possible. But if you're not using ProSoft Connect, you can do whatever you want. So without Connect, it's not included. You cannot create your own interface with Connect as it is today. I think it's answering your question. And if you are not using the Connect Cloud, you can clearly do this. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Carlos. Okay. So thank you very much, everybody. I think do you have more? Do you have some other questions? If not, I will close the webinar now. Any more questions? So yes, Carlos, the presentation will be sent to everybody who attend to the webinar. Okay, so if you don't have any more questions, just feel free. So I didn't give you just feel free to contact me directly. So you will have my I will share my screen. Okay, so just feel free. You have my contacts here. You can take a quick note of it if you want. Just feel free to come back to me by email or by phone directly, preferably on the cell because I'm always on the road. So don't hesitate to contact me if you need regarding this. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I think we'll close the presentation. We'll close the webinar in 2 minutes, just giving you the time to take my contact details. And thank you very much for attending, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate it.